That's real good.
Ain't nobody stopping me.
Hey, how are you beautiful tubers doing today? Happy St. Patrick's Day. I got the green ball. Green ball. The ball light is green. Don't pinch the light. I should have worn red. I don't mind being pinched. So anyway, I had the beautiful and talented Yodels, aka Yoli, the brains behind the operation. How you doing, Yoli? You look good in green.
Thank you. It's St. Patrick's Day, so with the Hales.
I've been saying kiss me, I'm Irish all day. It hasn't been working. So
hey everybody.
Maybe I need to be Irish. I think if I had a pot of gold, I'd get a lot more kisses.
Right?
So. Oh my gosh. Freckled Ginger's here. Shane McReynolds. I'm doing adding the Mick to it because I'm slightly Europhobic. I don't know what the term is for saying it. Anyway.
Europhobic?
I don't know. Does that mean that's racist to call everybody if you're doing like it's St. Patrick's Day, so you put Mick in front of people's names? Like I should be like Mick expert.
Mick Medina.
I don't know. I know somewhere somebody will be offended, so it doesn't matter. We're just having fun. T for two. Mary Rotello says, "What's the bombshell? What I miss?" Holy cow, everything broke this afternoon. That's what happened. Hey, look, here we go. This is exactly, wait, where'd it go? I lost it. Is that it? That wasn't what I was looking for. Oh, this is it. Look, big fly on the wall. There you go. Fly on the wall is now Mick Fly on the wall. I like it. She has a little fly on her. Clover, yeah. Cynthia Fire Fairy. You guys are so wait, hang on. I can't. Why are my buttons? Everything's messed up, Yoli. I'm sorry.
Well, that's how I am.
Gonna stop saying hello. Oh, I see Lady Tammy. I'll say hello, and then Kimberly Ray. I'm just gonna stop saying hello and try to catch up. Or like come here. Hey, Iron Rabbit, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, Iron Rabbit, thank you so much for the 10 memberships. I wish I had a cool. I don't have this is my St. Patrick's Day. Thank you, Iron Rabbit. Hey, look, we got Valhalla Waits is here. How are your puppies doing? Do you know he's gonna be a dad?
Yeah, the goat is pregnant, or one of the goats. Right?
Yeah. I guess so. I don't know. He never told me. I just kind of guess from what other people tell me and what I saw on his.
Well, I'm not insinuating that he had anything to do with goats, but his goats.
Oh.
His goats is having a baby. Or is he really having a baby?
If you see a goat that looks like Valhalla. No,
one of his goats.
Steve Gosney did not say that Valhalla was into goats. Hey, Island, how you doing? P Hunts, what's up? Tammy Bogart, what's happening? Used to be younger. I'm sure I missed a bunch of people. I love you guys all. Thank you so much for stopping by. Yoli here is the professional, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I'll try to be.
Rockula. Thank you so much. Yoli, how's it going over in your stream? Guys, please go and hit up Yoli. Make sure you're subscribed to her. She's what's the latest over there?
The 911 call was released.
The Brian Koberger, Idaho 4, Moscow murders.
Yeah.
What's the latest? What do they call it? What are you calling it?
What am I calling it?
Mm-hmm.
The Idaho 4?
Oh, okay.
I mean,
there was like a cool lingo that I'm missing out on.
No, you're not missing anything. It's just the 911 call was released, and people are dissecting it left and right. You know, I mean, it's neither here nor there. It just seems like the students they're scared and had assistance in calling that in. That's for sure.
Huh. I still I saw Friday it came out. I still haven't listened to it.
Yeah.
So Friday, I mean, it's like Saturday because I didn't see anything Friday.
Yeah. It's getting weirder and weirder, but oh well.
Oh, it's going to get really weird. I got a feeling before it's over with. Lady Tammy, I believe the answer to your question is going to be yes. Here, where did I lost all my paperwork.
Yeah, I've seen Bruce. I've seen some paperworks. That's
yeah, we've covered a few of these things, and Yoli over here, she's practicing federal court. She knows what she's talking about. Me, I'm just a guy wearing sunglasses. But it's so. I think was the last time we talked, we both, I think, agreed that it seemed like the lawyers involved in the case were not communicating, but through filing motions. Yeah. And it was, it's a matter of time before the court gets tired of it, I think. And I think that may be what our conclusions tonight. I don't know. I'm trying to find, I've got a lot of stuff here. I don't think we need that one. So I'm going to close that out. Let's see. What was the first one here? Is this it? Hang on a second. Okay. Yeah. Let me see if I can pull this up first. So there's just a few things on the background, and then the stuff today. That's what got me. That's why we're here. Mm-hmm. So let's see. Where's the present your screen? Yeah, I just saw a new option down there, which is scary. I think that's it. And we'll share that. All right, there we go. All right. So the document 96. This was 4 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Motion for sanctions, including a judicial default. So this is from the plaintiffs, I believe, right? Yes, Plaintiff Jeremy Hales, by and through undersigned counsel, pursuant to the court's order, document 43. I couldn't imagine keeping up with all these documents.
Yeah, I couldn't either. I would, this is going to become a full-time thing for this judge. It seems like he's getting the new case too, so he's going to have his hands full.
I bet he's thrilled about that too. Actually, we should let's not forget to you can explain how that happened later on. If we remember, if we don't, that's okay. that's not an important part of the whole thing. Let's see here. So an order dated 12/9. The court said that name calling, personal attacks, and obstructionist behavior has no place in a deposition or any proceeding in this case. Experienced lawyers like the ones involved in this case should be able to control themselves and their client. Now, I believe that's before I even knew you.
Yes.
It was, they've been very snarky throughout this. And the judge came down on Randy Shockett, the plaintiff's attorney, on something. I forget which order it was. But anyway, so it's both sides equally. We know that the defense attorneys have been very obstructionist, I think, is the word I'm looking for. You may disagree, but it's just some things that I would consider, you get a lingo to it, right? I mean, and at some point, let me start over. Today, I was thinking that this is being handled like a first-year lawyer, like right out of law school. Like every single thing you're taught, every single little thing that he is putting every little motion in there to try to make it a longer and more difficult experience for them.
Yeah, and a lot of the things that the defense attorney, Bruce Matskin, I think his name is, he puts in a lot of stuff in there that really doesn't even need to be in there in the motions. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
And it does make it longer. And, you know, it's just not the kind of civility that you would want in your courtroom. So I think the judge is going to take, he's going to take control. And I didn't even know about this order that you're showing me right now, or the order that it refers to in this document, because that was on 12/9.
Yeah, this is a I can't remember what they said. I mean, I remember I think I actually covered this one a little bit.
Yeah.
It was, and
He
again,
put-
I think, I mean, I'm doing this just about every day, and I'm streaming just about every day, and I can't remember what was
yeah.
covered back then. And especially, I mean, attorneys, they have other clients.
Mhm.
This is not easy for everybody. Hey, I want to take a moment here and say, Mayor Dan, how you doing? Happy St. Patrick's Day, y'all! Look what Mayor Dan
Oh,
sent
wow.
to me today. Look at that. He's
Wow.
how do you? What's the
Leprechaun?
correct term for Mayor Dan? He's
Leprechaun?
he has a good time. He's a mayor, and he's a like a character actor for they do like a haunted St. Patrick's Day. Like that's his thing. It's like a creepy. Is that not incredible?
Oh my God.
I mean, that makeup just amazes me. So anyway, happy St. Patrick's Day, Mayor Dan. Thank you so much. Guys, he is awesome. He is awesome. So sorry, I was kind of behind here trying to catch up on the. Oh yeah, there you go. Freckles has it. Mayor Dan Eagle's a wonderful human. He is really a great guy. Great guy. All right, so let's see, where were we on this?
Where this was in 12/9, and I believe people are saying that this was after the deposition of Jeremy Hales,
Germany.
I think.
Yeah, so like that deposition was crazy.
Yeah. So they're talking about bar rules here. That seems pretty serious. If
so you're well, and here's what's okay. So Bruce isn't licensed in Florida.
right.
So remember that part. But so your rule regulating the Florida bar 4-8.4 misconduct states lawyers shall not engage in conduct in connection with the practice of law that is prejudicial to the administration of justice, including to knowingly or through callous indifference disparage, humiliate, or discriminate against litigants, jurors, witnesses, court personnel, or other lawyers on any basis, including but not limited to on account of race, ethnicity, gender, religion, national origin, disability, marriage status, blah, 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 blah. Let's see what the oath of admission of a Florida bar requires attorneys to maintain the respect due to courts of justice and judicial officers. And that's right. Very important.
Yeah, and it applies to pro hoc vice people or lawyers who are admitted to practice in a certain case.
And these are universal standards. I mean, yeah, really change that much state from state.
No, it doesn't change. And in fact, in California, they have rules of civility now. I mean, it's sad that you'd have to have rules, but yeah, rules of civility when you're dealing with opposing counsel.
That's what we've come to, yeah.
That's what we've come to, and you have to have a continuing legal education on civility amongst your peers. I mean, litigation is ugly, but it doesn't have to be. You don't have to be disparaging the other side. You just attack the issue.
I had a professor that she was big into. She called it therapeutic jurisprudence, and I had another professor that he kind of. This guy, he was a genius in his own right. They're the ones that kind of slip things in. That I'm like looking around going, surely somebody else caught this, right? Like, I don't think you're supposed to be saying this. But anyway, he was just going off one day and he was started talking about therapeutic jurisprudence. He's like, oh, yes, that sounds so great. Such a wonderful term of art. Until you get into the courtroom, and it's war. You fight. You fight, you fight, you fight until it's over, then you still fight. And I was like, I don't know what's going on, but that was cool.
Yeah. Well, in court, it's different. Like I always say, I'm different. Like if I'm in a trial, like you wouldn't know who I am. But this, these people that take it so personal. Look at that, Randy, you scumbag.
Yeah, that's how he starts off a message to him.
Yeah, that's not.
Before you, Randy, you scumbag. Before you stupidly and intelligence insulting respond. Wouldn't it be response?
Before you stupidly, and it should be and.
Intelligence insulting response or respond?
Response. I should be response.
So he didn't even write the sentence. Did he just call somebody stupid in a sentence and didn't write it correctly?
No, didn't write it correctly.
I'm just gonna say, okay, this is an official. I will say this. Hey, D-Rex, what's happening? If you're gonna call somebody stupid, make sure that the words, especially if you're writing them down, the words after you call somebody stupid, and don't call people stupid. You shouldn't write letters calling people stupid.
Well, it's before you stupidly, and then and intelligence insultingly. I don't know, like he's saying it. He's going to do it stupidly, but and intelligence insultingly. That's an unintelligible sentence. And then in parentheses he says, or let your imbecile of a client respond using your email. Yeah, you don't call people imbeciles. I mean, not in court. I mean, not in emails where you're corresponding on a case.
No. The second one, you're endlessly ridiculous. Yeah, okay. You're endlessly ridiculous. You could have explained the first time I asked, no formal letter explains. Blah, blah, blah. Now, see, that's what's funny about that is that Shockett said something in an email. It's like, never in the wide world of litigation will this become, like we settle, I think might have been what it was. And anyway, the judge mentioned that in an order and said, you're supposed to respect each other.
Yeah. And if they're talking about settlement, that should be confidential. Settlement communication.
Oh, yeah. Well, don't quote me on that, but he did put out a thing on settlement, and I forget what it was, but it wasn't an offer.
Oh, okay.
No, it was I can't remember right now. There's so much stuff. Let's see. Your conduct is always intended to create issues for motions to generate YouTube content. Oh yeah, that's that word he's big on. The pull them up. I don't know.
It sounds like polyps. Like
yeah, the polyp. He's up. I will ensure your shenanigans result in the appropriate discovery orders. Attorneys confirm that Brooks. Oh, wait, never mind. That was the continuation of the footnote. And then here, what was it here? I realize your conduct is always intended to create issues for motions to generate YouTube content. Back onto this, and then your shenanigans. Blah blah blah. Randy replies, counsel, I strongly once again urge you to cease from making derogatory remarks towards opposing counsel, witnesses, and parties.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like, let's see here. I don't even know. I'm just lost in like the whole, because this is all different. And now they're talking to Mr. Lutham.
Yeah, there's one in there. Don't show, and you just passed by it that said something about a settlement offer, so that we don't need to see.
No.
Oh my God, did you sleep through law school when they taught about communications made for express legal purposes?
You want to say something? Oh, well, hey, here you go.
Again, using these words, I'm not trying to be
Is that
okay?
Hey, Santiago Garcia Jr., how you doing? Hang on a second. What's going on? Oh yeah, that's right. Hang on a second. Yeah, here you go.
Yeah,
Bruce CC'd YouTubers and journalists on the settlement offer. Yeah, that's what it was. It was a settlement.
Yeah, see, you don't do that. Settlement communications are privileged. So you do that. And the reason why they're privileged is because if you talk about settlement and those words can be used against you, then people aren't going to be willing to settle because they're, that whatever they say in trying to settle the case might come back to bite them. So when you're settling the case, it's supposed to encourage settlement. So you're not supposed to, I mean, it's a well-known thing. Settlement discussions are privileged.
Yeah. So how is your client remunerating Megan Fox, Tug, and the rest of the YouTube echo chamber? Is it money, traffic, clicks, or a combination of something else? Garden vegetables. That's the that's the Lefty Lulz emoji there.
What?
Lefty's a guy who comes in.
I know he has game show.
Yeah.
How is your client renew? I don't even understand what that means exactly. How is your client remunerating?
What is remunerating?
What is remunerating?
I think he's dyslexic. Remunerating.
Okay. How is your client remunerating? Right? Megan Fox, Tug, and the rest of the YouTube echo chamber. I still don't understand. Is it money, traffic, clicks, or a combination of something else?
This is high class law, practice of law here. Let's see here. Okay, let me get rid of your fun. I mean, so anyway, that was what Randy, he sent that to the court, asking for disciplinary actions. The court, let's see here. So this is the one now. Consideration.
There's a motion to strike.
Yeah. So there was that one, and then let's see. Well, I'll just go here. There's. Why don't I share that one instead? Present. Sorry. So I'm not used to going back over here now to whatever we're on. What are we on? No, it's 97. All right, 97 was sent to. Let's see here.
He set a hearing date.
Yeah. So this is upon consideration of the foregoing as order on the 13th of March, which was 4 days ago. Plaintiff has filed a motion for sanctions. The court will require defense to expedite their response in opposition. Accordingly, defense must file a response to plaintiff's motion for sanctions by no later than 5 p.m. on the 20th.
Right. And then Bruce guy said he filed a motion to strike and asked for additional days to respond to the plaintiff's motion for sanctions.
Yes. So where is that?
There's a.
All right, that's it. All right, I'm just looking to see which one. I got them all laid out here. Just seeing which one I had pulled up. But I have to have it at the top to share it. And there we go. And then this is the this is from
This is
That's
the
right.
court.
Yeah, the court. Okay. So the plaintiffs filed a motion for sanctions. The motion alleged the defense counsel is engaged in unprofessional conduct. The court has ordered the defense counsel to respond to the motion by the 20th of March, which is in 3 days. As part of the response, the defense counsel should show cause for why the court should not revoke the privileges of pro hoc vitae status and has been granted to him. That has been granted to him in this case. See the estate of Rawl v. Walker, Northern District of Alabama. Explaining that permission to appear pro hoc vitae is a privilege, the granting of which is within the sound discretion of the presiding judge and which can be revoked if counsels continue to violate the professional standards of that district. A hearing on this matter will be held Thursday.
Oh, move up. I'm
April
sorry.
3rd.
Move up again. Just move up. It says continue to violate the professional standards of the district, and then it says cleaned up. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I've seen them do that before. It's when taking a part of a case, like a quote from it, and they clean up the language.
Oh gosh, I've never
Or
seen
abbreviate it. Hey, look who's here! Hang on a second. The man, the myth, the legend himself,
that. Baker.
Broken One. Hey, by the way, congratulations to Broken Baker. He crossed 14,000 subs today. Is that not amazing? Yeast makes the bread grow. That's what he always said. So he's over there growing bread. You should eat some. He's the maker of the breadsticks. That's a big thing around here. I don't know why people talk about breadsticks, but it's always thinking about Broken Baker. He has unbroken breadsticks.
He's a bad baker. He's a bad baker.
He's a naughty baker. Oh, there's so many inside jokes that are all kind of coming together.
No.
One. Yes, he's
No.
where'd he go? That is no. So that's our baker right there. That's the baker man. Hang on a second. I just heard a beep.
Okay, you can finish the second page. I stopped you. Sorry.
Well, no, I just heard a beeping, so I went and closed out everything real quick. It's not good.
What?
Let's see here.
Okay, hearing.
Here for the matter will be April 3rd. And here's what's important is that this is going to be in Pensacola. There's no need for the individual parties to attend the hearing, but counsel for the parties are required to attend. Oh, by the way, the reason why it's important is Pensacola is because before the court has ordered that everything will be in Gainesville.
Not everything, just the pretrial stuff.
There you go. Yeah.
So he's making them go to him, I think, right?
Yes, in his chambers.
Or
I guess in his court. Any request to hold a hearing at a location other than Pensacola will also be denied. Oh yeah, excuse me, I missed this line.
Yeah,
any request to appear remotely will be denied also. I love these footnotes here. The court previously indicated that it would consider holding pretrial hearings in Gainesville. That remains true as a general matter, but the court will not hold this particular hearing in Gainesville. There is no need for the individual parties to attend because the hearing will focus solely on the conduct of counsel. Thus, there is no inconvenience to the individual parties by holding the hearing in Pensacola. Also, per Expedia, there is no significant difference in the flight options or cost from Boston to Pensacola and Boston to Gainesville.
Wow. So he checked flight options?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I've never in my life heard of that.
I've never heard of that. And you know what? I told you this judge is going to make if they can't get along, he's going to make them come to his chambers. He's not going to accommodate them if they're being unreasonable.
No.
And so this is a motion for sanctions because the other side is Bruce is acting unprofessional. Not acting, he is by his emails. I can already tell. You don't use words like that. I mean, gosh.
No. Well, adults shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't. I mean, disparaging people and all that stuff, that's terrible. I mean, you can have an opinion about someone and it might not be, you might not like a person or something, but you don't disparage, like call
No.
people names and imbecile and say you stupidly, and then write a sentence in that same where that word is used that is stupid.
Lady Tammy, I've not seen that website.
Yeah,
Don't put it up here, but if you don't mind, will you send that to me though in Discord?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to advertise anything on the stream. So anyway, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you don't talk this way. I mean, you know, you made it through high school, you made it through college, you made it past the LSAT, you made it through law school, you made it past the bar, you made it to federal court. You've done all these hurdles in your life, and you're groveling down to the level of emojis.
Right.
Think about that. I mean, that
It's
is
wor-
the
and it's
high watermark.
worse than emojis, because it isn't. It's just not something that you do, especially in federal court. Federal court has no mercy. So at least over here in my jurisdiction, this judge is being very, very patient. But that's just, see, this is why I like medical malpractice with what I do, because it's a small niche here in Southern California, and I know everybody. We see each other all the time. We know they're experts. It's very cordial. There's nothing, we're not enemies. We keep each other employed. I mean, if defense counsel, if defense counsel didn't have plaintiffs filing medical malpractice cases, they wouldn't have a job.
I know. I mean, there's a lot of. Okay, let's hear it. Like, so what I've seen personally is like, there are attorneys that you try to stay away from and everything else, because you're like, man, they're junkyard dogs. You don't want to go against them. And we'll say like farmhouse was run. They didn't do hardly any criminal stuff, right? So like if somebody would say, I need a criminal attorney, they would send them to the people. They were like, yeah, I can't stand this guy. I don't like being in a room with him, but you should go see him. He's a great attorney. I mean, it's just it's a professional what's the courtesy? It's a professional courtesy. You cannot like them. Hey, Hot Damn Elaine, how you doing? I love Hot Damn Elaine. We gotta we gotta hang out sometime.
Yeah, so my thing is just being nice to opposing counsel and sweet and everything until there's trial. They know that.
Yeah, because it is war. Let's see here. So then the next thing is we have. Oh wait, I forget how to. Guys, I was asleep 10 minutes before this stream started. Okay, so I'm having a little. The squirrels, some of them are still yawning.
The squirrels.
Yeah. Somebody thought I was chasing a squirrel in the driveway the other day.
I did.
Somebody had said something like that, and they said, "Oh my gosh, I thought you said the expert was on that." All right, so this is the one. Now, this got me this morning. I was like, "What is going on here? What is happening?" So this one came from defense counsel. That'd be Bruce, and this is asking to strike the motion for sanctions because he didn't put in local rule 41.1 certificate. Now, what do you think about that? I mean, is that?
Well, I don't know what local rule 7.1c says. If it's the certificate of service, then by the mere fact that he's responding to this, he got it. So it's moot.
Oh.
In other words, if you didn't have proper service, you would not be challenging this at this point. So do you see what I mean? So
yes.
That's if rule 7.1c is regarding the certificate of service, the proof of service. So one of the things, if you don't attach a proof of service, but the other person gets it and they respond to it, then it's moot. Granted, you should attach a certificate of service, but I'm not really sure what local rule 7.1c says, but whatever it was, the judge deemed it.
Wow.
Quote,
You know what? You ask and you shall receive. All right, there we go. So here are the Here are the local rules for the Northern District of Florida.
7, what was it, C?
Yeah, 7.1 is motions, and it's C.
Let me make
There
it
we go. Certificate required. A motion or supporting memorandum must include a certificate under a separate heading confirming that the moving party complied with the attorney conference requirement of local rule 7.1b setting out the results. 7.1b
meeting and
attorney conference
conferring.
required.
Yeah, it's not the certificate of service, it's meeting and conferring. And yes, federal court requires you to meet and confer before filing a motion.
Well, I mean, here's the
And I think
the conference may be conducted in person, by telephone, in writing, or electronically, but oral conference is encouraged, and email or other writing sent at or near the time of filing the motion is not a meaningful conference. When a conference is conducted in writing or electronically, an attorney ordinarily should be afforded at least 24 hours as calculated under the rules of civil procedure.
yeah. So you have to meet and confer. Like, I think he, in one of the emails that I read, he mentioned that I'm going to bring a sanctions motion if you don't stop this. So that might have been why the court just said your motion to strike is denied, because the motion to strike was based on not complying with that rule.
Hang on. Oh, wow. Well, that's I'll have to show this to you in a second. I just got there's a website. Somebody parked the website and made a I don't know if I can show this to you.
You can put it in the private chat. You don't have to.
Well, it's a picture. If I send it to you on Discord, do you get that?
I do, yeah, on my phone.
Okay, hang on a second. All right, let me do. Sorry, y'all. This is like I cannot share this. I don't feel comfortable. I want to get Yoli's opinion first before doing this. So this is what was. So that was a website, and he went to, and that was what they had on there.
Okay, I have to take my glasses off. Sorry. And that's Showshet.
Yeah, shock it. Yeah. So you see what they photoshopped.
Yes. And so, I mean, I don't know. It's not obscene, so I don't know that you can't show it. I think other people have seen it. But if that's the website,
the website
unbecoming of an attorney. Sorry.
Should I show it or not?
Well, it could be copyrighted.
Oh, well, it's YouTube. Everything's copyrighted. They think it is. It's a website.
Oh, well, then it's available.
Yeah, it was on a website. So this is what was just shared. So that was POLAMOP.com. That's what it did show. And that was a Photoshop rendition of Shockit.
So he's attacking Shockit, not necessarily the client, but still, you don't do that. I don't. By
the way, that's not copyright that I get. I was promoting a website, polymop.com.
So
that's free advertising.
Yeah. So the thing about it is, Disparaging other attorneys, you really don't want to do that. You can criticize other attorneys, but disparaging them and saying that they're doing things just to create YouTube content is kind of presumptuous. I don't know if it's true or not, but it doesn't matter. You need to, if you're going to have a case in court and you're going to defend your clients, you need to do it to the best of your ability. And if you're focused on all this bullshit and all this YouTube stuff, you can't do it to your best of the ability. I mean,
No.
you know,
Yeah,
it's like me having a case and then having it on YouTube and having to focus on all this stuff, you know, like I can't imagine.
yeah, like trying to keep up with both, because one, you're trying as an attorney, you're trying to follow the law and what's best for your client. But then this YouTube, that's just garbage, tabloid stuff. I mean, really, this is National Enquirer. This is Jerry Springer or Maury Povich, or is there anybody on nowadays? All I do is watch YouTube. I don't know.
Let me see, is there, did Maury Povich die?
I don't know. Is Connie Chung now?
Oh, Jerry Springer passed.
Oh yeah, he passed away. This TMZ. That's who this is. It's like TMZ, and I mean, really. Well, actually, you know what? I think some of the lawyers in Johnny Depp, they did get kind of caught up in TMZ stuff.
Yeah, and you know, it's like I can just imagine the defense attorney and the prosecutors in the Idaho 4 case, how they're trying to.
Because
keep things.
Everything's supposed to be quiet.
Well, the judge gave a little leeway as to the non-dissemination order. He released some things because, you know, I mean, I just feel as an attorney, it would be very difficult to do my job in the courts and also have to monitor social media and try to just anticipate what social media might put out. Because at the end of the day, you have an obligation to your client. You don't want your client prejudiced by social media people. So you got to do what you got to do. And being half and half, like half social media and then half in court, you know, it's hard.
You know, this is something I've thought about is that will future like big law firms, will they have someone on staff just to do social media?
Well,
I mean, if you're doing entertainment
movie
law,
stars do that. I mean, they have movie stars, like, you know, people in the entertainment industry have people who will monitor social media for them if there's a lawsuit, like the Diddy, you know, P. Diddy, you know, the Blake Lively lawsuit. They have people monitoring. I mean, but the average Joe Schmo, I mean, they're not going to be able to hire somebody to do that.
Well, I was just thinking like the entertainment law stuff. I guess I mean they have to, right? At this point. Hang on a second. I'm trying to see. Okay, so this things were popping today. They came out like crazy. Here's the first thing, and so like we don't have to spend a lot of time. I just want to make sure everybody sees it so we're all up to date and stuff. This one here this was a response by Randy. You know what's funny? I can tell by the font now who's who. This was the response to the motion to strike. So the motion to strike is what we just saw. We just read the beginning of it, and that was that 701C. And it was talking about you know, he didn't file he didn't have a conference with me, so he can't file this. But you also remember what Yoli said, that Shaka had said, I'm going to file sanctions if you don't stop this behavior. So yeah. Anyway, this is here. So this is the response. Plaintiff filed a motion for sanctions. Motion judicial default and dismissal of counterclaims. This means that the motion that would determine the outcome of the case or claim. Therefore, an attorney conference and certificate is not required. See 701D, an attorney conference and certificate not required for a motion that would determine the outcome of a case or a claim.
So there's your answer. That's so wait, but determine the outcome of a case or a claim. So the claim was that he was not acting professional, so I'm not sure.
Well, he would lose his
Pro
I think,
vitae, yes. Mhm.
yeah, they're trying to
Yeah.
he'd be kicked off the case. That's gonna be a huge thing, right?
Yes. That would it would determine that. It would determine something, but I don't know if it would be the outcome of the case or claim, but it would definitely be a sanction that would affect the client,
Well, let's
the defendant.
let me ask you about that real quick. So you don't see many times in federal court where you change counsel, right?
Not really. No.
So I mean, think about it. You're let's say like firing your attorney and hiring a new attorney right in the middle of a case. That's not something. And
Well,
even like, I mean, I've heard of attorneys dying during the middle of cases, but usually someone in their firm will take over.
yeah. So in white collar crime, it could happen because conflicts arise during the case, like in small towns or something like that. But normally, no, not really. I mean, if you're in federal court, you have someone who's admitted in federal court who's likely established and isn't going to do the shenanigans that what I'm seeing here. I mean, basically what I'm seeing here is somebody like Bruce Matzkin. I'm sure, he passed the bar in his state, and I'm sure he's probably, he can do what he can do. But right now, the things he's saying by email, it sounds like he is perpetuating content for YouTube. It doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't seem that what the Hales or Jeremy at this point is promulgating stuff for content. Now, I don't have the whole picture, but just what I see, and based on the emails, they're inflammatory. They're designed. It's like they're designed to get you worked up, and then when you get worked up, oh, look what he's doing. He's crazy. And it's a reaction to somebody's it's a weird dynamic, but that's how I see it right now.
I thought about that every time he says the polyp screening or whatever he calls it. He's projecting. Yeah. And that's what he's doing. So he's trying to say, oh, you're doing this. And in reality is he's the one doing it.
That's what it seems like to me, just based on what I've seen. And again, I haven't seen everything in the case, but I pretty much can look at everything, like Shane has sent me everything, and just kind of have an opinion. But
let me ask you, so with the defendants, they start off pro se. So if Bruce loses his pro visa, will that go back to them, or it would go to? There has to be an attorney in Florida that's standing up for Bruce, right?
Let me see. Yeah,
sponsoring. So it would go to that attorney, I would guess.
Well, it would go to that attorney. And actually, Brenda Velasquez is asking if polymop is a legal term, and I don't know. I honestly
somebody
don't
came
know.
up with it's was it promulgating
content for you using it's
litigation for
so it's sort of like abusive process. You're abusing the court system to create content for your YouTube channel, and I'm sure there's going to be regulations about that soon. So it's almost like I've never heard of the term polymop, if it's actually in case law, or if it's a term that has just that was just made up. But I'm sure there's going to be cases regarding that. I don't know if this is one of them, but when you said that you thought that Bruce was trying to get this case as a showcase, like as some kind of make a name for himself regarding this case. I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of dynamics going on, psychological dynamics, and you got him projecting onto the plaintiff, Bruce.
Yeah, there it's true, and it's for Bruce, it's like he wants it to be like a landmark decision. He wants it to get notoriety out of this. You know, he'll be the source you come to or whatever. It seemed
Yeah,
like he's trying to create a niche for himself.
yeah, but that niche he's creating, he's putting his reputation on the line by calling people names and emails, and being such a jerk. You can be a jerk, you can be an ass, but you can be a nice ass. You don't have to call people names. You don't have to disparage people. You just attack the issue, not the person. I mean, look, if every attorney, I mean, attorneys do their jobs, whatever job that is. If I were assigned to defend a criminal, let's say the court picked me to defend a criminal, I'd have to do it. Okay, so people have to do
Oh
their job,
yeah,
right? So, but this Bruce seems to have some personal issue, like it's personal to him almost. And granted, like I said, I haven't seen everything. This is just my opinion based on what I've seen.
that was a thing. What was that? Was that ethics? When you take the class and it's the first time, and I'm explaining this in law school terms because I think they're
Because you're a law
so
student.
they're so
You're a professional
universal.
law student. That's how I see you.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, aren't we? We all are, I
Yeah.
mean, it's if you're gonna do this. Of course, me, I'm sitting here going, I wish I'd bought books, but anyway, uh,
No,
I
you're
couldn't
good.
afford them. I couldn't afford books.
You're good.
I gotta think. Oh, when is that? My law school sent me a message the other day. They want to update what everybody's doing, and I was like, I'm gonna send back there and tell them I'm a YouTuber. But I would looked at the list of what books cost now, and I was like, holy cow, man! I don't. It's ridiculous. But anyway, in ethics, so like you had that case where there was an attorney that was adamantly pro-life. He was Catholic and he's pro-life, and he had to defend an abortion
Mhm.
somebody. Maybe like it was during the 60s or 70s when abortion maybe was illegal, and they had to defend someone who had an abortion, and they're like, no, this is against my my moral and my religious beliefs, and the court ruled that no, you have to do that as an attorney. You are not supposed to bring in your personal beliefs, but you are supposed to represent the law. So, and that's
Yep.
I mean, Bruce, you're supposed to represent the law if you're appointed to something.
Yeah, you represent the law. You don't attack the other side with, just disparaging comments and, things that are just irrelevant to anything. If you just focus on what you need to do, things will get done better and faster. But
Yeah.
I feel like, oh, somebody says Bruce created the pull 'em up.
Yeah, he did.
So
That
that
term.
so you might be onto something, that he might be wanting to create something like this, because there are people who have filed claims against YouTubers for RICO, and I know the RICO got dismissed in this case.
Yeah, it did. Hey, Shaquille, how you doing, bud? Um,
Yeah. So
I'm sorry,
there's
I got stuck. I was reading Susan's thing here.
he did.
Sorry. I get distracted. You guys know that. All right, hang on. So let's see. What's the I mean, and again, all these things started breaking this afternoon, and because I was thinking I was going to just do like a video on Bruce's thing. I was like, okay, is this read worthy? Is this something to go through? And I was like, man, there's a lot here about like this and that, and all of a sudden, there was a response from Bruce, and then there was orders from the court, and so let me see, what do I do with this? Hang on. I just downloaded this. Where'd it go?
So someone did ask a good question, like, what are the sanctions that are being requested?
Where is that? Oh, wait, Polly says that the acronym's already been used before. Oh, that's interesting. Let's see here.
Well, I guess the sanction would be to remove him from being pro hoc vice
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
and report him to the state bar.
All right, let's see here. Where did that go? 102. All right, so then the next one that pops up, you get so the Northern District of Florida. This is today, St. Patrick's Day. Hope you wore green. No, you didn't. You're gonna get pinched.
Okay.
So this has been referred to Judge Bolitho on March 17th. It is ordered on this day the defense motion to strike is denied to the extent it sought to strike plaintiff's motion for sanctions.
Yeah.
So everything that Bruce did, his whole like, you didn't put a certificate on this.
You didn't meet and confer. Yeah, gone.
It is granted to the extent it sought an extension of the response deadline for the motion for sanctions. Defendant's response deadline is extended to 5 p.m. Central Time on March 25th. That's the first time I've seen them put Central Time in there.
Oh, Central.
It
Isn't Florida?
has both time zones. So the Northern District, I believe, goes all the way to Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's on Eastern. I think Gainesville's on Eastern. Central is Pensacola, where his office is. Yeah. On March 25th, because every motion or filing in this case seems to beget another motion or filing, the court will go ahead and preemptively state that plaintiff will not be given permission to file a reply memorandum in support of his motion for sanctions. So there is no need to file a motion asking. See Northern District of Florida, Local Rule 7.1I, stating that parties ordinarily may not file a reply memorandum in support of a motion unless the court grants leave.
So he's basically telling them just
show
the
up.
motion's been filed, the motion to strike is denied. The defendant has until March 25th to respond to your motion for sanctions because they requested it. It was due on March 20th per the court's order, but now they moved it to March 25th per the defendant's request, and that's pretty much it. So he's saying you don't need to file a reply, so you're good.
It says be there on what was the date on April 3rd? Yeah, be there, be square. You're right. Now after that, we've got this little nugget, which is the actual order. It looks like so. This matters before the court on defendant's motion to dismiss for lack of subject matter jurisdiction. Oh yeah, so this is the one. Oh, this is a different order. Oh,
Well,
I don't think I've seen this one.
Go up a little bit to the top. Yeah. Okay. So this is the first case. Yeah.
So this is do you remember that they ruled that like the RICO was pushed out?
Mm-hmm.
Remember and all that? So
they said the monetary amount was below the 75,000 and that doesn't really, it's at the time when it's filed.
So this matter before the court dismissed the lack of subject matter jurisdiction. Plaintiff has responded in opposition. No hearing is necessary. There's no more hearing. There's no more anything, man.
There's no hearing because the diversity is determined, the amount is determined at the time the case is filed. At least I think it is.
Yeah, because you know what you're talking about.
I think
it is.
Like I would not bring
it is. It just is. Early in this litigation, defendants moved to dismiss for lack of subject matter jurisdiction. Documents 5 and 6 This is document 103. The court denied that motion and found subject matter jurisdiction existed under 28 U.S.C. 1332 because there was diversity of citizenship and the amount of controversy exceeds 75,000. Documents 14 and 23. Again, this is document 103. Defendants have now filed another motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction, arguing that the amount in controversy requirement is no longer met. Those were documents 67 and 68. Can you believe there's been almost 30 more things filed since, and this was in January. I mean, this is something's filed every other day.
This is like making me not want to be a judge.
Hey, let me tell you what.
If you're a YouTube attorney and then call it a day.
That's sad. So, I've got this thing always when people say that they want to be a judge. I always say, I'm like, so you're ready to retire, huh? Because technically, the people I've always known, it would be a pay cut. But, at the same time, they make good money. They don't have to pay for insurance anymore. And they get golfing. They have hours to go golf.
No, well, I'll tell you, the judges over here are really overworked. They can't. It's like
everything now it's crazy. It's still playing catch up from the
COVID
pandemic. Yeah. Although defendants are correct that plaintiff can no longer recover treble damages or attorney's fees for violation of Florida's RICO Act because those claims have been dismissed, defendants are incorrect that this fact deprives the court of jurisdiction. Events occurring subsequent to the institution of suit, which reduces the amount recoverable below the statutory limit, does not oust jurisdiction. St. Paul Mercury, that was 1938. That has been law for a long time.
Yeah. So when I told you, yeah.
Rosado v. Wyman, 1970. The well-settled rule that a federal court does not lose jurisdiction, even though the amount recovered falls short of the jurisdictional amount. Pretka, see, this is 2010 case. A court's analysis of the amount in controversy requirement focuses on how much is in controversy at the time of the case's filing in federal court. That's exactly what Yoel said. There we go. That was this was decided weeks ago.
Yeah, so filing this is really, I'm sure that this guy just put case law saying that, there has to be a jurisdiction. To have jurisdiction, you have to have 75K in controversy. And that's true. But if it changes, that doesn't automatically divest jurisdiction of the federal court. It's known. I haven't practiced in federal court for a while, but it's known. That hasn't changed.
Yeah, no.
It's in my bar books.
I was gonna say, like the diversity of jurisdiction and $75,000. That was, what year was that? The $75,000. That was like in the 70s or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's
so ridiculous how long ago it's been.
Yeah, this was just. I don't know why this attorney wants to do this and why he thinks this is something good for his client. It really isn't. And I feel bad for the client because what he's doing is, look, if his client did do what Jeremy Hales alleges that the client did, then that's terrible. That's a terrible thing. You want to resolve it. You want to protect your client. You don't want to subject them to ridicule,
I'm glad you said that.
You don't want to subject them to that, because if I represented this client, this defendant, and they were honest with me and they said I did do that, then I would be honest and I would say, look, you need to resolve this. Even if you don't have money, you need to say you're sorry. You need to say that it's not true, those kind of things. But if his client is denying it, then I understand he has to defend her. But to file motions like this is like, dude, you need a research attorney or something. I mean,
Let me,
that's just my opinion.
dude, you need a research attorney or something.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for her. I
That's
just feel
awesome.
bad. No, I don't feel bad for her. I feel like if she's going to get representation, she needs to get the right type of representation. I mean,
Well, like you said, if it's ruled that's true, you go back and look at the behavior here. I think that there's the polymop, the polyp scan or whatever they're doing here. His term of art is it's he's projecting and he is getting this out into YouTube more. I mean, I wouldn't be covering this stuff, nobody would be covering this stuff. And sure, we have, the numbers that look at our stuff on YouTube are so small compared to something like I mean, anything on network TV. It is so tiny, and we get caught up into this, and like we think we're huge and all this stuff. No, it's really small compared to the local news or anything like that. But at the same time, and I've had experience with this personally. Is you don't know who is listening, and you may have somebody very important that is listening, somebody that is getting influenced by what you're saying, and the next thing you know, this could become something much bigger than it is. And you are doing, I mean, if it's on the internet, it's forever. And you are doing your client a disservice.
Yeah, because you have a client, and so you have to represent your client, whether that means you're bringing a case and you're representing the client and you're bringing a case, or you're defending a client. Either way, you have a job to do, and that job does not include disparaging and calling names to the other side. That's not in the job description. Sorry,
No,
Mr.
it's not.
Music. It's just not. Now, I don't know if Jeremy Hales attorney has done anything like that, but you also have this thing about provocation. How many times does somebody write you an email and you just want to and you respond back like a MF, like just
yeah. Oh, let me tell you what, there have been, oh gosh. Oh my gosh. I have typed out stuff and I started off so angry. Why do you get angry? I don't know. It's stupid. And by the time it's like I have typed 500 or 1,000 words, maybe, and I'm like, oh, wait, now where am I? I'm like, why am I doing this? And at that point, I'm sitting there going, there is so much stuff in here that I'm getting ready to delete that will be forever gone. And I look at it and some, I'm like, oh, there were some very creative words in there. This probably isn't good for me to share that, though.
Yeah.
Don't send it to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, but you have people who are humans, and you got this guy that's just trying to trigger everybody, and he's triggering everybody, and he's triggering YouTube, and I just feel like this is if those signs were posted, that's a serious thing, and this case should be taken seriously. And I'm sure that Jeremy Hales doesn't want millions of dollars. I'm sure he just wants some acknowledgement that this occurred and that an apology and some kind of compensation. But look, that lady or these people who are defendants, at least in the original case, we haven't talked about the second case, but in this case, they probably don't have any money. No. And so to recover money is probably not a likelihood. But it is the principle, because those things being said about someone on signs, it's horrific.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a friend who that happened to, and not signs, but just in general. And it takes a toll on you. I mean, it's like, oh my God, especially if you're out there, you're a public figure,
Yeah, it's it's so weird. I mean, you're right. You have to protect your
client.
you have to protect your reputation,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's something that's very important. And people attacking it, it's I mean, it's an expensive thing. People don't care. It's so weird. I'm gonna get lost on that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, chat. Let's get through this because and then let's just get through this real quick. I gotta let my brain reset because I started to get mad about stuff. I don't think I said hey to 80s music man. How you doing? And Matt Englishman, what's up? Hey Sharon, how are you? A lot of people came in. I've been trying to pull up. If someone says hi, I try to pull it up. So I'm saying hi back. Let's see here. Court's analysis amount of controversy requirement focuses on how much the controversy at the time of the case's filing in federal court. That's what you just said. Thus, a post-filing development that reduces the alleged amount of controversy to below the statutory threshold does not destroy diversity jurisdiction. Moral Canon USA v. Walschlager. It's 2025. That just happened. That's not even
it's a U.S. Supreme Court case, yeah.
Oh, yeah, duh. I skipped right over U.S. I was looking for. Never mind.
You're looking for the Cal app. I'm looking for the Cal app.
California Appeals.
California Appellate.
Oh my gosh.
This is only something that attorneys could laugh at, but anyway.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Stupid. Oh my gosh, I feel so dumb. This rule responds to the difficulties of assessing a suit's value and the likelihood that the calculation will change over the course of litigation. Because the alleged amount in controversy does not cap damages, constant litigation over the matter having the potential to alter a court's jurisdiction would be wasteful. And then again, see this, he likes to use cleaned up.
Yeah.
Therefore, even if dismissal of plaintiff's Florida RICO claims has made recovering the needed amount impossible, the dismissal is a post-filing development that does not destroy diversity jurisdiction in this case. Given this rule and the court's previous determination that the amount in controversy requirement was satisfied at the suit's outset, defendant's motion to dismiss under Federal Rule Civil Procedure 12B1 lacks merit. See also author R. Miller. Do you know Arthur Miller?
Yeah.
He is, dude is so awesome. He's like my favorite. He's just awesome.
Isn't he related? Yeah, he's related.
He's like the civil procedure mastermind. He's the authoritative figure. He's a professor at Harvard. Mm-hmm. And if
he has a treatise. That's right.
Yes. And if I'm not mistaken, hey, Paula Carpenter, what's going on? If I'm not mistaken about Art, his secretary, he had his former secretary was Miss Cleo.
The psychic?
The one that went to jail?
The psychic?
Yeah. So if there was one of these guys, so yeah, there's like, they have the treatises, they're the authoritative figure on these things. Art Miller, he is a law professor at Harvard and does civil procedure. Mm-hmm. If he says this is how civil procedure is done, then you might as well just write that on the wall.
Yeah, well, it is. It's known. I mean, the law school I went to was ABA accredited, and they followed the federal rules. And so, yeah, the amount in controversy is determined at the time the case is filed. I mean, if it changes, that doesn't necessarily. I mean, this is
no, it doesn't. Yeah, it is. I mean, that's what I'm just saying. That like with Art, though, like he is such an amazing figure, and so that's how I know about this guy. Also, I have a really stupid story I could tell you later, but I'd be embarrassed. But Art, though, he said in one of his things, I believe it was him. He goes, "Yeah, does anybody know Miss Cleo?" And I'm like, "Who's Miss Cleo?" And he was like, "Yeah, that used to be." That used to be my secretary. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, she didn't ever have a premonition of going to jail. I was just like, what is happening here? Like, so okay, I'm gonna.
But she was famous, right?
Do what?
She was famous.
Yeah, made a ton of money, all that stuff. Oh, yeah, and she wasn't Jamaican when she worked for Art.
She was.
Remember, she's like, yours is. I was like, oh, I see big things. You'll feel, did that old Jamaican. Never mind. Sorry. Hey, happy Mardi Gras, everybody. Is it Mardi Gras in it? What day is today? I don't know. Or summary judgment motion, thereby reducing the plaintiff's Arthur Miller federal rule, explaining that even if part of the plaintiff's claim is dismissed, for example, on a federal rule of civil procedure 12b6 or summary judgment motion, thereby reducing the plaintiff's remaining claim or claims below the requisite amount in controversy, the district court retains jurisdiction to adjudicate the balance of the claim.
And there's a footnote 1.
The court is unpersuaded. Sorry, for some reason between the N and the P, I saw a D. I'm like, I'm going a little cuckoo. The court is unpersuaded by defendant's argument that the general rules should not apply because plaintiff acted in bad faith. The court does not find the plaintiff acted in bad faith in asserting that at the time of filing that the amount in controversy exceeded $75,000. Saying that the plaintiff acted in bad faith, that's also saying that the plaintiff's attorney acted in bad faith.
Well, the thing is it's whether they acted in bad faith regarding the amount in controversy. It's not a general acting in bad faith. So what I think the court is saying is that, look, you're saying that plaintiff's counsel acted in bad faith overall because it seems like a projection from the defense counsel to plaintiff's counsel, because the only thing that I've seen is disparaging remarks from the defense counsel to plaintiff's counsel. Now, I don't know. There may be some things that the plaintiff's counsel said to defense counsel. I don't know about that, but just looking at this, the bad faith has to be with regard to the amount in controversy. So if you know your claim is worth less and you lie and you say it's worth more because of such and such and such, then that's a bad faith with regard to the $75,000 in controversy amount. But so when the court says the court does not find that plaintiff acted in bad faith, asserting at the time of filing that the amount in controversy exceeded $75,000. So there you go. There's no bad faith in alleging damages over $75,000.
No. And he goes on to say whether the plaintiff can ultimately recover more than $75,000 is a different question than whether the amount of controversy was met. When the case was filed. Let's here explain that the plaintiff's likelihood of success of the merits is largely irrelevant to the court's jurisdiction because the pertinent question is what is in controversy in the case, not how much the plaintiff is ultimately likely to recover. Cleaned up. There's a lot of times when there are cases that you always love these, right? Where it's like, yes, you win and the judge will award $1 because
well, that would be a bench trial.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying, like, it's like, it doesn't, they may not get $75,000 ultimately awarded to
no,
them.
nobody knows. I mean, you could get a total defense verdict.
Mhm.
That's the whole purpose is this case could go to trial and the plaintiff may get $0. And so if you
that's a good point. The plaintiff may get $0. That doesn't mean that you don't have standing.
And it doesn't mean that there's no jurisdiction.
No.
Because the reason why it's determined at the time of filing is because you have an expectation of what your damages are. Now, if the court had concluded that plaintiff has no real expectation that the damages are more than $75,000, he would have said that the plaintiff's acted in bad faith, but he didn't say that in this case because it's a defamation case and we know what the allegations are, and it's not.
And here's something else with the defamation. It's like how like everything on the internet's forever, right? So, like, let's say today. It was like, oh, only 2 people saw that, or whatever. They've made all these allegations about it. That doesn't matter. That claim, it's out there and it lasts forever going forward. So let's say 10 years from now, something happens, and then someone brings up this, and starts accusing Jeremy of being a PDF file, right? And you have to go through all this again. That's why it's so important. That's why saying stuff, making these claims are so atrocious and should be very much. You should be punished for trying to ruin somebody's life. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
It's for me. Last sentence here is accordingly, defendant's motion dismissed for lack of subject matter jurisdiction on document 67 is denied. So, and that is, I believe, the end of them.
Yeah. It's
nothing else has come out, has it? There's not a document 104 yet, is there? Hey, Cellulite, how you doing, buddy? What's up? Dude, I want to stream with you sometime, man. Do you know Cellulite?
I know Cellulite.
Oh, he's cool.
No. I know the other Cellulite.
It's this guy.
No, I don't know that guy. I know the guy that's on my. Never mind.
Well, it might be the same guy.
No, not the same guy.
Oh my gosh. I hung out with him a long time ago. I think I was that Mean Copiums? Or was that like Aussies or something? I forget what it was. And I know Mahala was there. That was it was crazy. It was crazy. We need to get together sometime, man. He lives in Detroit. And which is there's a lot of Michiganders in the chat here. Hey, how you doing, Richard Thornton? What's up? So anyway, is the anti given enough time could this is the question. So Patrick's asking, there's the anti what the Hales ecosystem, what they call it. So
is that for the turtles?
I'd say I don't know who they are, but I keep hearing it as I do it now.
Is that for the turtles, the ecosystem?
No, this is like do they call it ecosystem or they call it we're calling it like their PR. I don't know. They've got a different term for it all the time. Their publicity, we'll just say, is the publicity. So there are streams out there that are dedicated to anti-Hale stuff. And by the way, again, I've said from the beginning, I really do wish this whole thing could come to an amicable conclusion. I think that'd be best for everybody, and they just walk away. That being said, I've never had a one-on-one conversation with Jeremy or George, but everybody's ever been around them and everything have been so great to me. And I've never had anything, but I have nothing but positive things to say about them. I don't know the other side. I've never talked to them. I think John was in the chat one time. I welcomed him to the chat, and that is my whole standing on this whole thing. Even though
about tainting the jury pool in favor of the Florida resident. So the Florida resident is the defendant and the Ohio resident is the plaintiff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the thing about jury pool contamination and all this stuff. It's up to the attorneys to vet out bias from jurors. And you can't always control what people say because there's the First Amendment and people can say what they want as long as, they're not inciting violence or, they can even say defamatory comments, and it's up to the individual who's defamed to put a stop to it. Because, if you're defamed and you do nothing about it, then they can just keep talking and talking, And if you don't do anything about it, then they continue. So you can't control what other people say or do, but when you're a lawyer, you have to vet out the jury, and it's up to the attorneys to make sure that the jury can look at this case without bias, and you get a promise from the jury. You say, look, can you put all of your biases aside, because just because the jury has a bias or knows somebody in the case, that's not really a reason to kick them off for cause. You got to explore that bias, and you got to say, look, could you put your bias aside and look at this case objectively? And if they say no, well, then you kick them off for cause. So it's up to the attorney. What happened?
I just hit my funny bone. Sorry.
Oh,
See that?
anyway.
I do a whack right here. I'm like, what is that? Sorry. I wasn't laughing at you.
It's up to the attorney to make sure that they get jurors who are not biased. And I know that's a hard job, but
voir dire is very difficult. And I had I didn't know this existed, and I've never ran into this again. In moot court, they had a guy come in. It was a former student of the professor, and it's funny. My professional life is zoning laws. No, there's a lot. I mean, I was in government stuff, but anyway. So all my fun, sexy stories are all law school. They aren't. I don't even have the fun ones. Those I don't remember. But there was a voir dire professional where this guy, he traveled around the country, and just he helped train attorneys, and would even go and help pick out juries for him. And I was so amazed by that. He was the coolest guy because he came in, he wearing blue jeans and he didn't have a tie on. Everybody else, they show up, they're all like, "Oh, I'm Mr. Suit-tastic." This guy was just laid back and chilled out, and he's just like, "Yeah, man, I've been all over the country. I do this." And he's like, how you get into it, I don't know, but picking the juries are a huge deal.
Yeah, and very so they have jury consultants, and I don't know if you ever watched that show called Bull.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that he was a jury consultant, and although it was exaggerated as to what he could do and couldn't do, but yeah, they have jury consultants who sort of help with the jury selection and what kind of case a juror might be good for. And but I always say, look, you're going to be with this jury for a long time, like especially in these high profile cases that last a long time. You gotta connect. If you don't feel a connection, that's how I see it. And
because it's anything, any bit. I think of a jury as being it's like a business relationship or a personal relationship is, well, like you and I, I feel like you and I connect. We can do this fairly good. Some people, you sit there and it's talking to paint drying.
Yeah. It's just not, if you have, it's something that you can't teach, but you do need help for someone to tell you what kind of a juror you want for a certain case, something so subtle as body language, things like that. But in terms of connecting, connecting with someone connecting with the jury is what is good. Because when I started these chats, in YouTube, I saw how it is to be part of a community. You want to foster that. You want them to like you. You want them to want to come back. You want to keep the chatter going. You want to keep questions coming. You want to keep it going. And so if you lose a jury and you're not connected to them, then it just goes sideways.
100% true. Real quick. So Gina here says, obviously Gina is much more clairvoyant on this case than I am. This is the last thing that's out there. Is the judge cleaning everything up she said to toss Bruce out, but there's I would say the judge is cleaning everything up for this hearing that's going to happen the first week of April. What do you think? Because it was, we had a couple motions, within a week.
Yeah.
A couple of orders within a week.
It's hard to Melody, yes, it was raining here. Sorry, I had to answer.
I saw that one too. We're behind.
Yeah. I don't know what the judge is necessarily thinking, but if I were the judge, I would want to be taking control and making sure that if Bruce is going to stay on the case as pro hoc vice, that he follows the rules. Now, I don't know if the judge has already reached his limit where he's like, because he did issue an order to show cause, an OSC, why sanctions shouldn't be imposed. So he's probably already at the point where he's going to make a decision about the representation of the, yeah.
I mean, that's yeah. Okay, so I never thought about that. So what is when you're looking up flights on Expedia for the guy? That's
Yeah.
That's a pretty big. That's something big. I don't know what it is.
Well,
I also don't. I don't know what the next. I don't know this judge.
That would probably be dicta. You know, like I don't know if you know what dicta is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something superfluous. You know, it has nothing. It has to do with something the judge did and said that was not necessarily something he had to do or something that was legally required, but it's just his thought process. You know, it's not binding, meaning I'm sure that if they can't make it, he's not going to say, well, I looked at all of the flights and, so it's probably just something.
He's putting Bruce on notice. He's like, no, I checked it out. Flights cost the same. Now, it didn't say how much the flight was. You know, that cost may be something else. But he's like, it costs the same to fly here as it does. Because that's the whole thing was like, no, we're doing it in Pensacola. We're not going to do this.
This judge is not. If the parties have issues, he's going to make them go to him. But for the pre-trial and all that stuff that needs to be done for the trial, he'll do it in Gainesville. And that's pretty much what he said. And I get it. I don't know why Bruce doesn't get it, but I get it.
Patrick's asking, how do the federal juries determine over county juries? I would think it has to. Do they have to be in the same federal district, like the Northern District of Florida?
Yeah, I think they do. I'm not sure how those. It's different. Yeah, county juries
have to be within the county.
Yeah, the federal. I'm not sure. I think it has to be within the district.
The one little district, yeah, because. It's not because that's the Northern District of Florida, which is a sub-level of the 11th District Court, which is what Georgia, Alabama, and Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Sorry, you see Bad Dog? He's so far away, I can't pull him up. Gosh, I'm so far behind the chat. Oh, there he is. There he is. What's Brown and sits in a courtroom? Jury duty.
No, it should be Jury Dookie.
Dookie. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's just sad that these attorney, that this case is going on and this Bruce guy, he's really just saying things that he probably shouldn't be saying. I mean, not probably, he shouldn't be saying in emails.
I didn't realize this. So he's already been in contempt for not producing discovery?
Really?
I didn't know that. Let's see here. Gene is like, this was answering documents 80. Type in left hand. The cat's asleep in the other. I'm assuming it's this cat that we see a picture of in your avatar there. Let's see if I missed anything else. Well, let's see here. I think it's kind of the games of courthouse closed. Oh, hang on, see here. Got some. Oh, there we go. And then, okay, cool. I think I'm caught up with everything there.
Mhm.
So, all right, it's April will be the next thing. We probably won't hear anything between now and then. Now, there's another court case going on, and I don't know. I
It
think
needs a
there's,
lot of people,
yeah. I mean, it's
even some people that I might see in chat, like, I don't know.
yeah, it's
And you trigger somebody without, I'm sorry, but you put stuff out with like a sign saying that someone's, you're some kind of a PDF file, and then it triggers stuff, and then, then it just goes on, and it's unfortunate because that energy could be put to better use,
hey there. Hey, here's good energy. You got new sub, guys. Please go sub to her. So, that's going to ask you real quick, Gilly. So, she is covering right now. I guess you got started on YouTube with your coverage of the Idaho 4 case, and
Yeah.
that is the Idaho 4 is special to me as far as that was like one of the last true crime things I covered, and that happened right around the time that I want to say I had real life problems that were going on a lot, and so I didn't get to do a lot of live streaming and stuff, but I did some videos and everything on it. And I remember I did the whole someone had done a 3D model of the house and the whole
Mhm.
walkthrough. Boy, that was a weird stream for me. It wasn't at the time, but it's like that's one of the ones that I remember. I was so amazed how they did that 3D modeling and how you were able to walk through and turn
Mhm.
around and do all this stuff. And then the other one was seeing the
I'm
the
sorry.
blood running out of the house. Do what?
The blood. Okay, so I saw Gina Fitzgerald's conduct, and I thought Gina Fitzgerald's comment, and I thought she was talking about me. And it says she's a little old and gray. She sleeps anytime or place. I thought she was talking about me, and I'm like, I'm not gray. No, I don't dye my hair.
Don't read the chat. Don't you
No,
know my rule? Don't read the chat. The chat is here to mess with you. Don't do it. Now that you told them you read the chat, you're gonna be messed up now.
I don't
I'm telling you, you're
know.
going to start seeing your name mentioned all the time, and they are going to be. It's going to be. It is natural of the chat. I love it. Like this. See, like that type of behavior. That's where my squirrels they get all tinkly feely. They like it. So I love the chat. But that's the number one thing. Don't read the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
This Idaho 4 case, and unfortunately I have a day job, but I try to do as much as I can on this Idaho 4 case because it is really, it's almost similar to the Karen Reed case, which I do follow every now and then. It just it's the dynamics of it all, but it really is a very interesting case from all angles in terms of evidence. But if you want the right person convicted, then you need to ask questions.
Yeah, there was, and I've talked about before. The everything was around that there was a knife sheath underneath somebody's body, and that was, I mean, that just got me. I was like, wait a second, this is it. There's no knife. There's no murder weapon, but they say that there was DNA, trace DNA, right,
Mhm.
on the button
And there's
that.
no test to determine when that trace DNA got on that button snap. But we know
That's
that the button
so weird.
snap is made out of brass, and we know that DNA degrades faster on brass than anything else.
Yeah, because brass is a mixture of copper and another metal, and copper is a natural disinfectant.
Yeah. So,
It,
yeah. So that's what I know. Other than that, he's like invisible. Nobody has seen him. There's nothing showing him going into the house. There's nothing showing him coming out of the house. There's a white car It started out as a Sentra, then a Hyundai Elantra, 2011 to 2013. Then it went from 2011 to 2015. And so there's this white car, but there's no license plate, that connects him. They don't have a license plate. They don't have him getting off the car and going in the house. They have some cell tower stuff that he connected to the cell tower that services the house. Well, there's a YouTuber, Evil CJ, who went over there. You can connect to that tower when you're in Washington. I mean, that tower, just because he connected to that tower, I mean, that, I don't know. So he may be guilty, he may not be, but the bottom line is, if you're concerned about being subjected to some kind of a crime because your trace DNA is somewhere, then I suggest this case is interesting for people to watch.
I'm sorry, I've been listening to you, but I also got a message from somebody. This is going back to the Expedia, looking up the.
You looked up from Expedia?
Yeah, so somebody said that they think that the reason why is, if you go and look it up, there's more flights going to Pensacola from Boston than there are to Gainesville. So that way there's no excuse to say, oh, I couldn't get a flight.
So this judge, did
his homework.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. But sorry, listening to, I was listening to the stuff with the Coburg stuff. It is. Now I'll tell you this: YouTube loves to have the conspiracy of innocence for that. YouTube does not trust prosecution, and that's always, it's fascinating to me to listen and watch it. And it's odd for me to be a skeptic of everything that was Brian Koberger. And I was, the very first time I heard it, I was like, are you sure it's this guy? But yeah, it's
an interesting case all the way around. And they just released a 911 call, and there's a lot of questions. And it's just one of these cases that struck me where it's like, I was following it, and it was at a time when work, like it was 2022, so work was really slow. And I was following it, and things just didn't make sense. And the more I heard, the more I was like, how can this be? Like, this guy's in jail with what?
And it's weird. He's been in jail for over a year now.
Yeah, and it turns out that either through the mitigation experts, or maybe the mitigation experts tested him recently, or they got records from a school, or his childhood, because that's what the mitigation experts do. They try to mitigate, if he's found guilty, they try to mitigate the damages, like death penalty.
Mm-hmm.
They found out he's on the autism spectrum. Mm-hmm. And so he's awkward. He's like, he's a germaphobe.
I heard he was a vegetarian.
Yeah, he's vegetarian, and vegan. Yeah, and he would be vacuuming in the middle of the night, like, and these things are from neighbors who would have a reason to know, because she had a newborn baby, and the neighbor said, yeah, he'd be vacuuming at night. And so he was an odd person, but just because you're an odd person, it doesn't make you an unaliver. And just like the roommates, people speculate that the roommates may have had something to do with them. And one roommate in particular, in her picture, she looks kind of, I don't know, she looks kind of evil sometimes. But yeah, you can't judge. You can't. Can
you say evil?
Yeah, she does sometimes. But that doesn't make her complicit in this unaliving. You know what I mean? Like, no, we don't know.
Well, for all of your Idaho 4 stuff, please go sub up to You know, if nothing else, it's free, man. The
Yeah.
link's at the top of the chat. Go do it. It's helping out. I saw you got like 850 subs now. You're killing it. Your ratios are great over there, and your views.
Well, they go
So,
up and down, but you know, it's because I have a day job that I can't get to the breaking news like right away. But you know, I have a take on things in that case, and I also know about universities and how they work. And I represented clients against universities and how it really is, how the university really is involved. But anyway.
Well, Bad Duck says, "What can a goose do that a duck can't?" And a lawyer should stick his bill off his butt.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I work on contingency, so I have to be good at what I do to make money. Otherwise, I won't make money.
I'm just amazed to know that a goose can stick their bill up their butt. Like I didn't. How do you find that one out? I mean, is that common? I don't know. I don't like geese. They're very.
At least they
rude.
can. At least they can help with constipation. A duck. What?
Why don't lawyers go to the beach? Can't keep trying to bury them.
What? I didn't understand.
Kitty litter.
Oh.
So here's the thing. I love lawyer jokes. I think they're
I do too.
I think they're hilarious. And they're about 99% true. Maybe 95%.
Yeah.
I don't know the thing about sharks, but I don't know many lawyers that go in oceans either. You never hear about, oh yeah, a lawyer got eaten by a shark. You've never heard that one. That's true. Huh. You always hear about like stupid people. Like, hey, these people were out there wading in water. They saw a shark and they tried to pet it.
Yeah.
The Idaho defendant was stopped twice in Indiana on his way home. This is important because Indiana and I-70 was swarmed with fed and state law enforcement due to kidnapped twins from Ohio were found in Indy.
Yeah. He didn't flee though. That's the thing. And one of the things you'll see is that this guy was stopped more times than most people in like 4 months, from August to like December. And the stop in August is sealed. Nobody can get that stop through a Public Records Act request. And then that's weird. And then you have a stop in Washington where that body cam is available. And he just tried to get himself out of a ticket. You know, he was trying to get himself out of a ticket. That's my take on it. And then you have 2 stops in Indiana when he was going back on the Christmas break with his family to Pennsylvania. And, you know, they stopped them within a short time span. And, you know, he didn't flee. He didn't take off. There wasn't a high-speed chase. And then when he was at his house in Pennsylvania, the FBI was apparently surveilling him. They saw him go to CVS. They saw him jogging around the neighborhood. But no, they didn't do anything. They waited until the middle of the night to go in there and do a no-knock or barely knock warrant and scare the shit out of everybody in that household and arrest him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. They were bound and determined. It's him.
I don't know. We'll see.
And like you said, you know, the police knew him and stuff. I mean, he'd been pulled over and stuff. Wasn't he trying to be like a junior cadet or something?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's probably on the spectrum. I always thought that just based on the description of other people, but I didn't know. And so, you know, he was a PhD in criminology, and he studied with what's her name? Ramsladam. She is like an expert, Dr. Ramsland. She's an expert on the BTK killer. You know that guy. But you know,
that guy was stupid. He was out free, and he decided he couldn't handle it anymore. He had to go back to killing. I mean, he was. They're never going to catch him,
right? Yeah.
He's like, oh man, I got to do it one more time.
And I got to send this disc to the newspaper. Anyway,
Yeah, let them know. Like, I'm not getting enough publicity. I need some
from the
bad publicity.
church, the disc from the church. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah. Yeah.
Well, anything else? Is there? Do we wrap up here? So
Yeah.
we're just waiting for April. Will be the next thing, I guess, right?
April 3rd. Mhm.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's going to be a lot of channels that are really going to be hurting for content over the next 2 weeks.
Well,
oh my gosh! But no, it's I'm glad that it's this is coming to a pivotal point.
Yeah, it needs to stop. I mean, you know, I'm always a person that, you need to resolve your issues, and sometimes you have to go to court, but the calling names and just the nastiness of it doesn't need to be like that.
Yeah, well, it's no, it doesn't. It needs to be professional.
Right.
They need to be professional about it. So well, do you have anything else?
No, I think we covered it, and I
I
think
appreciate you.
yeah.
I'll try to get us out of here in 2 hours. Guys, I have nowhere to send you, so I'm gonna send you good night. Holy cow, I gotta get up. I got stuff I have to do in the morning. Isn't that crazy? That's horrible. So, all right, guys, I appreciate y'all. Hey, listen, Dollywood's coming up. Please, I hope everybody's thinking about coming to Dollywood to the live FNL, see a live show, see all your goofy friends, all live, doing a stream, having a good time, and all the other good stuff. So, hope you guys are.
Bye, everybody.
Excuse me, I had a hiccup right there in the middle of this. Anyway, thank you so much, Yodels. Yoli, y'all, please go make sure you're subscribed to her. And again, y'all, I love y'all. Thank you so much. And how do I get out of here? I can't leave anymore because I don't have the Sweet Brown. I get copyright, even though it's not the person doesn't have the copyright. Isn't that weird? Isn't that a weird thing?
Yeah, that is weird.
They make a claim, and then I have to fight it with YouTube, and I'm like, it's not even worth it anymore. So,
anyway, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Oh yeah, hey, I'll leave you with this.